First Timothy or First Thessalonians, I'm not sure. You shall not suffer a woman to teach, and usurp the authority of a man. I went into the church today, and there was a woman in there teaching. And when I said to the people in the church, I says, look at that. I says, they're not supposed to do that. The imaginations of their own heart said they knew better than God and the prophets in the Bible. It just goes to show you what's going on in this country. That's how come all the men in this country, as soon as an old hook or a brass of a woman picks up a phone and calls the old bill, they come around and lock the man up and take his property and all. Well, I know one guy, he's after being up in London, and his mates turn around and says to him, your missus is a brass. We're putting you straight. Teaser, talk to her like a filth bag. You never spoke to her like that before, but when he started talking to her like that, the guy says that he looked like you could see some sort of a demonic possession on him. That he was looking at her, that had a big long fucking nose and all, and it was a lusty spirit. He could see the lusty spirit, and he was talking about saying he wanted to do some dirty sex with her, and she was loving every bit of it, and he knew exactly what to say to her when he was looking at the spirit in her face. This is what he's telling, this is a true story. He says you could tell how to get it because he's looking at the lusty spirit, and the lusty spirit was getting turned on as he was talking dirty to her, and he was after finding out that loads of other cunts were in his bed shagging his missus, and he stabbed one fella in the leg, which he regrets doing, and he's very sorry about doing, because the fella told him that his missus was a whore, and what would he do? He came home and found a pair of pants in the wardrobe because everyone was fucking his missus behind his back. And then they were working with the Republicans, and when that fella went back to Ireland, they broke him up and threw him in jail and threatened to kill him and all. And then when he came back to England, they done the same to him, tried to break his back, handcuffed his hands behind his back. These are all true stories about people, because the people that were telling them are actually ministers, and they know all about the black magic and the voodoo that goes on, and so they put them wide. So apparently a family has this one spirit can possess up to 3 people at the same time. It's witchcraft, it's obeah, and it's rampant in this country. And that's why our country is falling apart, because the Great British Empire is no longer being great. The Commonwealth is not great because of the influx of pagan idolatry and witchcraft. Now, the great King James done the right thing when he went after the tribe of the Dan up the north. Now, if you want this country to be overrun by foreign usurpers and have your children sold into bondage to foreign hordes and barbarian heathen who worship statues and stuff like that, pray to idols, abuse children, you won't turn back to the Lord. You're demanded to turn back to the Lord, and you're not supposed to divide these islands, because the Lord speaks of the islands in the Bible. So it's the same people that's telling you not to pay any attention to the Old Testament, because there's lots of stuff in the Old Testament that you need to know. It's the priests who worship the idols. You're a living being, you shouldn't worship idols. So what you have to do is you have to deal with the faults. You had to deal with it proper. There's loads of instructions, and there's loads of great men in our history. King Callahan, Brian the Hebrew, the great King James, Cromwell, who knew what to do with these maggots. Let's do them. If the hand of the Lord is with you, no one can oppose you and stand against you. So what's the problem? Is that all end up in a microbial hell if you don't?